Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. It is October the 26th, 1:24 p.m. and I don't know if you can see my breath. I can. 44.1 Fahrenheit inside the tiny house at 68% humidity. 50.7 Fahrenheit outside at 61% humidity. Celsius, it is 6.7 Celsius inside and 10.4 Celsius outside. I just got the fire started, so early stages there. I got a bunch of stuff to show you guys, but first I'm putting this camera on charge. Alrighty guys, so I got the camera on a battery pack. Now, I brought in my duffel bag. That's what I usually bring to the back and forth to the tiny house with miscellaneous stuff. That's just how I roll. I filled it with a bunch of stuff that I'm taking out of my, well, that I thought I would use over here at the tiny house. And then right here, this onion bag and this little black thing down here. These two items, the onion bag with the wood in it and the other item I'll show you in a bit, come from my Patreon member Pierre. And so he graciously donated me some cedar wood in this onion bag, and I think I'm going to keep some of it just for the aroma for the tiny house, some kind of like natural oil aroma in here. I thought I would keep some pieces, and then I'll try burning some. And I'll move, once I bring this stuff over, I'll show you what that big black thing is. It's something interesting we're going to take a look at. Alright guys, so I had a little trouble with the fireplace. I kind of overdid it with wood pellets, so I did remove some. And I'm definitely going to be putting that bracket inside in front of the combustion air, just so I don't have that issue anymore. So anyway, Pierre brought over, or I actually picked up his this power pack that he owns, and it says it's a 600 watt power box with inverter. So it's similar to what I have in the tiny house, power in the tiny house. But his issue is this, which I'll turn it on, and it says AC on indicator. So it's when that happens, when you hear that noise, that means the battery is way too low of a charge. Now, he's always had it plugged in on main power, which is 120 volt. But I think I'm going to plan on hooking this up to my solar system to see if I can get this charged properly. Because there's a couple, here's my ideas of what's going wrong with this. Either this transformer is pooched and not putting enough power or any power into the battery bank, or the internal battery is pooched. One thing I'm concerned about is this thing here. It says this light is on. It says USB on indicator. Well, normally that should not be on whatsoever, because that's power. See, if I flip it over, the light's on and there should be power there. But when I click off, why is this light still on? That's a drain on your battery. So possibly I may have to disable that internally before we go any further, because and then when you flip it on to the inverter, it's buzzing and saying there's no power. And now look, the LED light doesn't even work, and it says this USB port is on as well. But this light should not be on. So there's something wrong with this switch. as far as I can tell, because this light should go off. But look, it's coming back on. So, not good. So I may take this apart for Pierre and see what's going on. I may disable the USB capability because that's just putting a drain on his battery. And then I can charge this thing up, hook it up to my solar and charge it up. Battery capacity 0. Look at that. So this battery may be damaged because of this load that's been on it all the time. Even though it's a small little light, if that's on 24/7, that will murder your battery over time. So maybe his battery is pooched inside. I'll have to take this apart and see for him. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you later. So, pretty interesting here. First time I've taken any of these power packs apart. The battery looks like it's in good shape, but that doesn't mean anything. But what I'm going to do, if you guys can see this, see that green light on? That's what I want to get disabled, because that is a load that is constantly on, draining the battery. As little as a load as it can be, if it's left, if you leave the battery unplugged, unattended for any period of time, that little load will suck the power down in the battery. So, there's my phone. Be right back. Hey guys, back again. That was my dad just checking in. Nothing really going on. So, he's doing well. He's got his final body scan to do shortly, coming up in a few days, and we'll be going down for that. So what I basically want to do is get access to the front of this thing and snip the wires of that light, remove that light totally, and tape that off, because that is a load that's draining his battery down. So I'm going to try to attempt to get in further and cut the wires for that thing. I want to cut them one at a time, that way I can tape them off and not have a dead short. So that'll be fun to figure this out. So I want to make sure that by cutting that since I cut the LED light off, it's now off. I got to make sure that the USB socket is not live still, because then that's just another issue, having a load on all the time. So what I'll do is I'm going to plug in this USB light and see if there's power here. If there is, we're in trouble. Whoops. Okay. So, there's no power here until I turn the battery on. That is a really good sign. So, now that we've disabled this light, I can put this thing back together and then charge it on the on my off-grid solar system via the jumper cables. And all I have to do is basically shut my solar panels off, pull out my old battery, my orange one that's currently powering the tiny house, and swap this one into it. I'll just pull the power pack out. I'll show you guys, but I'm gonna put all this back together and then we'll get to that.